Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. Today we're traveling to Melbourne, Australia, and we're going back in time to World War I, where we're going to meet Vida Bunting. Along the way, you'll be introduced to her daughter Nina, and you'll experience a story of love, loss, and resilience. A childhood filled with hardships, a birth, a death, even a kidnapping. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, let's meet Nina, the daughter of Vida and the 8th child of Samuel and Elleanora.
And I think she was number 8. Her mother had lots of children, and 2 had died in childhood, and so she was just one of a family, really. And in Victoria, in Footscray, which is a suburb of Melbourne, and she met her husband, to be. But the thing is, he was a Catholic and she was a Protestant. And she was born in 1915, where Catholics and Protestants just didn't get on, really.
That is Margaret Hinton, and she's talking about her mother Nina. She'll be the one guiding us through our journey today. Margaret, daughter of Nina, is Vida's granddaughter, and as you can see, religious differences within a family can represent some real challenges. If they're approached with open-mindedness and respect, religious diversity can lead to some lively discussions, or in the case of Vida, it can tear a family apart. Margaret talks about how Vida's marriage was shaped by the war.
But in the end, she was pregnant, and so they got married, and immediately her husband, Fred, went overseas because the war was on, the First World War. Anyway, they got married, and I think 6 weeks after they got married, he was sent over to Gallipoli. 4 years later, he came back to my mother, who was then about 3.5, and her mother, Vida.
I know I'm throwing a lot of names at you, but don't worry. All of this family drama is played out in the book Blossom by Margaret Hinton. In the book, she introduces you to all of these characters, and it's done in a very nice storytelling style. A skill she inherited honestly.
And my mother had a very disrupted childhood, and she used to love to tell stories when she was sitting around the dining room table.
Oh, you could definitely call it disruptive. It was the kind of childhood that would ultimately lead to depression.
The government gave ex-soldiers a block of land, soldier settlement land, and so Fred, her husband, and Nina and her mother, Vida, went to live on this small plot of land up in central Victoria. There, Vida drowned in an irrigation channel, and so that left Fred and his daughter Nina. And so there was a bit of a toing and froing there, and that's when the kidnapping happened. The Catholic family wanted to send her to a Catholic orphanage, and the other family didn't want her to go. And then Fred just dropped right out of the picture. And Nina was brought up by her grandmother, who died when she was about 9, and then she was brought up by her uncle. She lived with them until she got married.
We all have family drama, and reading Blossom and hearing Margaret's stories reminded me a lot of my own childhood. That, I think, is the best takeaway here. While it's entertaining to live vicariously through books and stories, just as we do with great television dramas or compelling novels, real-life conflict often has deeper consequences. Many of our struggles could be avoided if we simply took the time to listen and respect one another. Because those caught in the crossfire, they're often the ones that are hurt the most.
Just look deeper into people, because if they'd all sat down and talked about it and tried to work things out, it might have been different, but they just didn't try and sort out their differences. Poor little Nina.
Follow the true story of Frederick and Vida, a young couple whose love and struggles played out against the backdrop of war and family conflict. Blossom by Margaret Hinton. It's available now at Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble, and I've put some links for you in the show's notes. Thanks for listening to this edition of Newsgram from webtalkradio.com.